Let's bring in Steve Yates, Senior Research Fellow for China and National Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. Steve, good morning to you. So let's talk about this big announcement that came down yesterday. It has to do with AI infrastructure and data centers being built in this country, things that are kind of tricky to understand. So practically speaking, what does this mean for our future?
Well, first and foremost, it is a tremendously large investment in basically America winning the future. We've had a lot of talk in Washington and elsewhere over recent years about strategic competition coming from China, supply chain dependency, and trying to compete in these critical areas. But you have to have reliable baseload energy. You have to have secure supply chains to be able to run these things. And if for America to be the leading high-tech manufacturing export economy of the world, all that has to come together, and it takes more than a little bit of investment. Unlike the CHIPS Act and other things before, this, I think, will stimulate development in that base infrastructure necessary for these industries to thrive. It'll attract investment in manufacturing back to the United States. And frankly, if I'm Xi Jinping of China, I have a little bit of a shiver in my spine that America just might be serious about competing and beating me.
Oh, absolutely. I would argue that winning the AI race is almost existential to our country's survival, especially when it comes to somebody like Xi Jinping. One of the people at the forefront of this is OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. He praised the deal with Brett last night. Listen.
This means we can create AI and AGI in the United States of America. Wouldn't have been obvious that this was possible. I think if a different president, it might not have been possible, but we are thrilled to get to do this, and I think it'll be great for Americans, great for the whole world.
I mean, look, you mentioned some of these, from removing those regulatory barriers to unleashing the energy needed to power AI to, quite frankly, the funding. Why did it take Donald Trump in 36 hours to make this happen? When AI is so important to our future, where has the rest of our government been for the last 4+ years?
Well, I fear that they have been slumbering in the old bet that globalization and internationalization of these things was going to be an efficient way of meeting the future needs. But Donald Trump uniquely organized campaigns and our country around the idea that we need to get serious about being able to manufacture and supply things here. Our allies also want this, too. It just should not be forgotten that if AI and other technologies are under the control or monopoly of a government like China, where they have no ethics, no value for human dignity, and unlimited resources to do whatever it is they choose, the highest surveillance state in the world, we need to have responsible stakeholders working together that value ethics, value genuine information, and I think this is just a tremendous down payment on that renewal that President Trump was talking about.
Well, speaking of China, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping spoke on Tuesday after Donald Trump was sworn into office. It was a video call that lasted about an hour and a half, and it was certainly chummy. Xi Jinping told Vladimir Putin this year, "I am ready to elevate Chinese-Russian relations to a new level, to counter external uncertainties by preserving stability and resilience of Chinese-Russian relations." So our adversaries are going to react to a change in leadership, and this is how they're doing it. So how does Donald Trump respond to this elevated partnership?
Well, of course, President Trump has said very frequently that he intends to open channels of dialogue with both leaders. Doesn't mean concession. It means he's going to take the temperature of the things that matter to him, the United States, the new American agenda. Of course, the priority in engaging Russia is going to be what Keith Kellogg, a special envoy, is charged with doing, of ending the killing in Ukraine and trying to come up with some stable peace on Europe's eastern flank. Should he succeed in being able to do that with President Trump, that changes the calculus for China. Right now, Xi Jinping thinks he's got a best bro to try to build a coalition to counter the United States and maybe thwart the United States. I don't like their odds if Donald Trump remains on this run of initial big push orders to get America right.
All right, Steve Yates, live for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve.
We appreciate your insight.